Commanders training camp is officially underway, and I've got 5 takeaways to share with you on practices from days 1 and 2 of training camp. Now, before we get into today's action, do me a favor and click that thumbs up icon and like today's video to get us started. All right, number 1 on my list of takeaways here from the early part of training camp is that Sam Howell is absolutely locked in right now, which is what you absolutely love to see from a quarterback that is really going into a big year for his career. This is his opportunity as a 5th-year or a 5th-round quarterback drafted last season to prove that he belongs here in the National Football League. He turned down the opportunity to be on Netflix's quarterback docuseries this year because he wants to focus on being the best quarterback that he can possibly be for the Washington Commanders this year. He understands that this year is going to be his shot. If he fails this year, he might not get another chance to start in this league. So he is absolutely focused on getting that done right this year. And my takeaway with Sam is that he knows that this is a huge, huge year for his development, for his career. If it's going to happen, it likely has to happen this year. So he's trying to do his best to prepare himself as best as possible. And he's been doing a bunch of great stuff during this offseason to give himself the best shot at success. And I think the biggest thing, at least according to him, that he's improved over the offseason is his footwork. And this is something that I have been saying for months, going back to my draft analysis of Sam Howell, is that he just wasn't consistent enough with his throwing mechanics, with his footwork, all these different things, and it would affect his accuracy. And in order to be an NFL franchise quarterback, you have to be able to put a ball on a dime consistently. And if you don't have consistent footwork, you just can't do that. Now, yesterday in his post-practice presser, Howell said that his footwork is light years ahead of where it was last year. And I think last year, coming into the league as a rookie, he didn't really understand what it meant to have good footwork and timing in the rhythm of the offense. Now he does understand that. He spent the entire offseason fixing his footwork, and just based on the clips that I've seen of Sam on social media, his footwork looks a ton better, and also with his throwing mechanics as well. Last year he was mostly a push thrower, which means that you're usually using pretty much all arm and none of your hips or your legs or anything like that. This year he is focused on becoming more of a rotational passer, which will allow for better accuracy and power. So I'm super excited to see what Sam Howell is going to be able to do this season. And those improvements are why I'm excited to see him play. You really don't know what you're going to get from Sam Howell this season because we haven't seen him play with these new improvements. Now, I've been saying here for the last couple of weeks that I think his ceiling is Jalen Hurts. I think that they have very similar skill sets, but he needs to make those progressions that Jalen made over the first years of his career in the mental processing department, in the footwork department, in the accuracy department. If Sam can get those things done, and it looks like he's doing everything in his power to do so, I think that he could absolutely become a top 15 quarterback in this league one day. Now, let me know what you guys think about Sam Howell down there in the comments section. Are you a believer in this kid? Give me a % chance that Sam Howell breaks out here in 2023. All right, this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever YouTube throws you an ad break here, it's just going to be in a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Right, number 3 on my list of early training camp takeaways here is that Eric Bieniemy is going to be utilizing the run-pass option a ton in his offense. And I really like this idea from EB because I think that it's a good way to make up for kind of a lower level offensive line. And let's be honest, this unit definitely has a lot of question marks on the offensive line. Now, the reason why it makes sense to go with RPOs here, easy reads for the quarterback to make, so it makes it a lot easier on Sam Howell, puts a lot less pressure on him. And then also, he's experienced running those RPOs. He ran a ton of them at UNC there with the Tar Heels. He's actually really, really good at it. So using that to Bienemy's advantage is absolutely a good idea for him. And then also it provides some help in the run game as well because if they take that linebacker out of the run fit to defend the pass option there, that's one less person in the box, and it's going to help out the run game. And listen, this offensive line, it's going to need a little bit of help. In my opinion, when it comes to the run blocking department here, this might be the worst unit in the National Football League. Now, you've got some pretty decent pass protectors there in Charles Leno Jr. and Andrew Wiley. I think the interior of the offensive line is all question marks. I'm a believer in Sam Cosmi, but he's a 6'7" and guard, so the leverage advantage won't be there for him, so that's definitely a question mark. Sadiq Charles has barely played in this league, and what he has shown is not great. And then Nick Gates can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field, and then when he's been on the field, he hasn't been fantastic. So EB's going to have to get creative in how to get this run game going, and I think run-pass options are a great way to get that going. And I would say expect to see a ton of them this year. I would expect EB to utilize Sam Howell's skill set both as an RPO passer and as a rusher in the read option QB run game as well to help out this offensive line, because at least on paper and from a talent standpoint, this is not a very good run blocking offensive line. And if you're going to get that run game going, you're going to have to get creative. And it looks like EB is taking those steps to try to get this offense rolling here in 2023. Then number 4 on my list is that Antonio Gibson has confirmed his role in this offense. He talked to the media yesterday, and this is what he had to say. Right now, I would say third down back, almost like that J.D. McKissick role. Third down back, end of game situation, end of half situation, and things like that. I'm fine with that. So this is kind of what we expected for Antonio Gibson's role heading into the year. Brian Robinson Jr. had a good rookie campaign. You bring in Chris Rodriguez Jr. as well. He's expected to play a little bit and get into the rotation as well. But something that I would also like to see Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, utilize Gibson's skill set as a wide receiver, right? He was a great wide receiver in college with Memphis, and I think that if you can use him in maybe some creative ways, like maybe line him up at running back and use motion to make him go outside and have him have like a one-on-one matchup with a linebacker in man coverage. I think that's a very smart way to utilize Antonio Gibson's skill set because he can do both. So I think that that's definitely a good idea, and I think that's what Eric Bieniemy should end up doing here in 2023. And then finally here, we've only been talking about the offense so far, so let's talk a little bit about the defense. And pretty much my takeaway with the defense is that they are flying around and they are doing a great job on defense this year. I mean, we're looking at day one practice. Just in one day, they had 4 interceptions against the Commanders' offense. Now, maybe that's bad on the Commanders' offense. I don't know. But I'm looking at this defense, and I'm looking at Emmanuel Forbes, who has the NCAA record in pick sixes for a career. He had 3 last season. He is an absolute dynamic playmaker. You got guys like Derek Forrest, who if you watch Commanders film, just continues to make play after play after play. You got guys like Cameron Curl, who is the second highest graded safety in the league last year, according to Pro Football Focus. And then you've got the great defensive line that's going to put pressure on opposing quarterbacks. So I look at this defense, and I think it's going to be really, really good this year, and it's going to be menacing this season, where I think that it's going to be a lot of turnovers, it's going to be a lot of sacks, and it's going to keep this team in ball games. So even if like Sam Howell and the offense kind of have an off day, I think this defense is definitely going to be good enough to keep this team in ball games, and I think it's going to be the best defense that we've had in the Ron Rivera so far, and we've had some pretty good ones here over this 3-year stretch. So let me know in the comments section, is this going to be a top 5 defense in the National Football League for the 2023 campaign? Will Washington have a top 5 defense? Yes or no? Let me know down there in the comments section. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. And I'm going to ask you something that might sound a little bit selfish. I want you guys to join our family here at the Commanders Report. If you love the Washington Commanders, if you want in-depth analysis throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, all the way leading up to week 1, where we're going to be covering all 17 games of the Commanders schedule. I know it's selfish, guys, but if you want that Commanders coverage here on YouTube for free, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. And if you want more Commanders content here on, or if you want more Commanders content on Twitter, you can check me out at Jack_Sperry on Twitter. Really do appreciate all the support, guys. I will see you guys later. And as always, hail to the Commanders.